Canada is a lovely place, great people, stunning nature. And for ages it had one main best friend. Especially for business, you know? That friend was the United States, a very big, very close friend. Most things Canada sold went there. Think about it, 76% of exports in 2024, that's a lot of eggs in one basket, even if it's a very familiar basket. Now, having a strong neighbor is great, but relying too much on one customer, that can get tricky. Canada realized this. It was time for a change. This is the story of that journey. So, Canada wants to make new friends. Trade friends, specifically. How do you do that on a big scale? You make some big agreements. Think of them like group holiday plans. Everyone agrees on the rules beforehand. Two of Canada's biggest are CETA and CPTPP. Lots of letters I know, but they are super important. They are Canada's keys to new doors. First up, CETA. That stands for Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement. This one is with the European Union. Yes, all those countries in Europe. It makes trading with them much easier. Fewer tariffs, more access for Canadian businesses. Then there's the CPTPP, connecting Canada with countries in the Asia-Pacific. It's all about creating connections. Canada is looking for new partners. And one country is really catching its eye. That country is Vietnam. Way over in Southeast Asia, it's becoming a key player for Canada. Especially in that whole Asia-Pacific region. Vietnam is seen as a gateway, a door to ASEAN countries, and the wider Asian market. Canada is saying, "Hello Vietnam, the trade numbers are quite something." They show this friendship is blossoming. In 2024, bilateral trade really surged. Vietnam even reported a trade surplus with Canada, around $9.9 billion US. That's a lot. It's a sign of a growing dynamic partnership. Canada has a lot of natural resources. From its vast forests to its abundant rivers, the country is rich in natural beauty and resources. But one of the most significant resources that Canada has in abundance is oil. Oil is a big one, of course. The oil industry has been a cornerstone of the Canadian economy for decades, providing jobs and contributing significantly to the nation's GDP, and for the longest time, guess where most of it went? Yep, to the United States. The close proximity and established trade routes made the US a natural partner for Canada's oil exports. About 97.4% of Canada's crude oil exports. That's a staggering amount, showing just how dependent Canada was on its southern neighbor for its oil trade. Again, that single basket situation. Relying so heavily on one market can be risky, especially in a volatile industry like oil. So Canada thought about its energy exports too. The need to diversify became apparent not just for economic stability but also for long-term growth. How can we diversify these? How can we reduce our dependency on a single market and explore new opportunities? How can we reach new markets? The global demand for energy is vast, and there are many potential customers beyond the United States, especially with all that oil. Canada needed a way to tap into these new markets and ensure its oil could reach them efficiently. Enter the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion. This project was designed to increase the capacity of the existing pipeline, allowing more oil to be transported from Alberta to the Pacific coast. This was a big project. It involved significant investment and years of planning and construction. It was finally completed in May 2024. The completion marked a significant milestone for Canada's energy sector. Just last year, from when we are talking now in 2025, the project had been in the works for years, and its completion was a moment of celebration. What does this pipeline do? It significantly increases the capacity for oil transportation, making it possible to send more oil to new markets. It allows Canada to send more crude oil. The increased capacity means that Canada can now export more oil than ever before. From Alberta, all the way to the Pacific coast. This route is crucial as it opens up access to international waters, and from there, onto ships. These ships can then transport the oil to various global markets, heading to new markets, particularly in Asia. The demand for energy in Asia is growing rapidly, making it a prime target for Canadian oil exports. A clever way to reach new customers. By diversifying its markets, Canada is ensuring a more stable and prosperous future for its energy sector. Section 5, Cyber Shenanigans and Tariff Troubles. Canada stands firm. Now, trading with the world is exciting. The bustling ports, the massive cargo ships, and the intricate dance of international trade are a testament to global cooperation and economic interdependence. But it's not always smooth sailing. The seas can be rough, both literally and metaphorically. Economic storms can brew unexpectedly, causing disruptions and challenges. There are challenges out there: economic threats, geopolitical games, countries maneuvering for advantage, sometimes at the expense of others. It's a complex and often unpredictable landscape. Canada has to be ready for these. Our government and businesses must stay vigilant, prepared to respond to any threats that come our way. One big worry is cyber attacks. In our digital age, the threat of cyber warfare looms large. Hackers can infiltrate systems, steal data, and cause significant damage. Nasty hackers trying to cause trouble. These cyber criminals operate from the shadows, often backed by hostile nations, aiming to disrupt and destabilize, like those Russia-backed hackers in 2023. They launched a series of attacks targeting critical infrastructure and attempting to sow chaos. They targeted Canada's energy sector. Our oil refineries, power grids, and other essential services were in their crosshairs, threatening our national security. Not very friendly, is it? These attacks remind us of the constant vigilance required to protect our nation. Then there's intellectual property theft. Our innovations, our ideas, the fruits of our hard work and creativity are always at risk. People trying to steal clever Canadian ideas. From groundbreaking technologies to unique cultural products, our intellectual property is a valuable target. And the weaponization of trade. This is when countries use economic measures as tools of coercion, imposing tariffs and sanctions to exert pressure. That's when countries use trade as a weapon. They create barriers, manipulate markets, and leverage economic power for political gain, to pressure others, or for political gain. These tactics can lead to trade wars, harming economies and straining international relations. Canada is developing a strategy for all this. Our leaders are crafting policies to navigate these turbulent waters, ensuring our nation remains resilient. A comprehensive economic statecraft strategy. This plan encompasses everything from cybersecurity to trade policies, aiming to safeguard our interests. Sounds fancy, but it's about being prepared and protecting Canadian interests. It's about building a robust defense against all forms of economic and digital threats. It's like putting up strong digital fences. These measures are designed to keep out intruders, ensuring our digital and economic security. Section 6, Fighting Back Politely, Canada's Answers to Trade Squeezes. So, what does Canada do when faced with these new US tariffs or other economic pressures? Well, it doesn't just complain. Though a polite Canadian complaint is legendary, it takes action in a measured way. Canada is aligning its tariff policies with its allies, working together, and it's implementing countermeasures. A sort of if you tax us, we might tax you back approach. Canada is also looking at other areas where tariffs might be needed. For example, there are plans for additional tariffs on selected Chinese imports, things like solar products and critical minerals. This is about leveling the playing field and protecting Canadian industries from unfair competition or strategic risks. It's a careful balancing act. Section 7. Canada's smart moves, more than just saying sorry. Canada's approach isn't just about defense. It's about building bridges and fostering relationships that go beyond mere diplomacy. The country has a unique way of blending its soft power with strategic economic initiatives. It's not all tariffs and controls. Canada understands that true influence comes from a mix of policies that encourage both security and prosperity. There's also positive economic statecraft. This means using economic policies to create beneficial outcomes not just for Canada, but for its partners around the world. Which is a nice way of saying, Canada uses its economic tools to foster goodwill and mutual growth, using economic tools for good things, like international development assistance. This isn't just charity, it's a strategic investment in global stability, helping other countries grow and prosper. By investing in education, healthcare, and infrastructure, Canada helps build the foundations for long-term success in these nations. This builds goodwill and stronger partnerships. These relationships are crucial for creating a network of allies and friends who share common goals. It's like being a good global citizen. Canada's actions show that it's committed to the well-being of the global community, and that often leads to good trade too. When countries trust each other, they're more likely to engage in beneficial trade agreements. A great example happened in March 2025. Canada made a significant announcement that showcased its commitment to global development. Canada announced $272.1 million in funding for foreign aid projects, specifically in Bangladesh. This funding is aimed at improving infrastructure, education, and healthcare in the region. and the wider Indo-Pacific region. This strategic investment helps to stabilize the region and create a more prosperous environment. This kind of investment helps build stability. By focusing on long-term projects, Canada ensures that these countries can stand on their own feet. It supports education, health, and economic growth. These are the pillars of a stable and thriving society, and stronger, more stable countries. When nations are stable, they are better partners in the global economy, make better, more reliable trading partners. See? It all connects. Canada's smart moves are about more than just saying sorry. They're about creating a better world for everyone. Section 8. Keeping things secure. Friends, money, and strong fences. Trade is important, very important, but so is security. The two often go hand in hand. You need a safe environment for business to thrive. Canada knows this well, so it remains committed to defense cooperation, especially with its closest allies, like the United States, of course. Through things like NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, modernizing NORAD is a priority. Canada has allocated $3.6 billion over 6 years for this important task. NORAD helps protect North American airspace from all sorts of threats. It's a long-standing partnership, and investing in it shows Canada is serious about its own security and the security of the continent. It's like upgrading the neighborhood watch. Section 9. Looking ahead, Mr. Carney's Canada and the global stage. So what's next for Canada's trade? There's been a change at the top. Justin Trudeau has resigned, and the new Prime Minister is Mark Carney. He's expected to continue this strategy of diversifying Canada's export markets. It's a popular and necessary path. Mr. Carney's campaign had a strong focus on clean energy and climate policies, and linking these to economic prosperity. This focus on clean energy is interesting. It could open up new trade avenues for Canadian green technologies and expertise in sustainable development. The world is shifting towards cleaner energy. Canada wants to be a leader in that shift. The new administration will likely push this, while also building on existing trade deals.